either after, which is nice for history reasons and occasion for regret and everything, or before, when it might have stopped the war. In short, I don't think that journalists, and I have to adjust to the fact that I'm not talking to him as a journalist here. I was thinking sitting down there, thanks to perhaps I was. But, so I give advice to journalists, but I would say, put pressure on journalists to do a better, as members of the public, to do a better job than they've done in finding sources, in discovering dissent, in catching the lie behind the statement, which you hear over and over and over again. Either no one could have foreseen this catastrophe, always a lie. It turns out it's plausible enough, but always false. Or B, everyone agreed, everybody who has the same access to information, you know, and you would too if you had the access, because everybody who had access to this information agreed that it was legal, necessary, the only choice, might fail, but any other choice was worse. Almost always a lie. When I.F. Stone, who used to say, how many people know the name I.F. Stone? Okay, how many do not? That's okay. Some are not sure. Most people. But used to say, all government officials lie, and nothing they say is to be believed. Now, what he meant by that was not, I'm sure, that everything they say is a lie, and it's the reverse of the truth. But just what he said. Nothing that they say is to be taken as the final word, as the word, the truth, the answer. It isn't even to be given the benefit of the doubt. It is because these are politicians talking with multiple audiences and multiple objectives. Number one always being to stay in office themselves and to improve their power. I would say from my time in the government and studying the government that nothing they say is the full relevant truth. He tells the hearer and any audience everything that hearer would regard as crucial and relevant and everything if they heard it. It's always, in short, misleading and misdirection, like a magician's misdirection, follow the finger. And but everything like that. I've often thought that one way of maybe encouraging people to resources more, be whistleblowers, and as I say, to put out a mass of material makes it almost sure you will be identified. That's another reason why this necessary activity isn't done very much. And I thought, well, maybe at least if they are told that it's not necessarily illegitimate to do that, or the more there is assurance of that, it will help put the question in their head. Do I have a right to keep this secret? Or is this the time I should risk my career? I would like that question to be in their head, which it isn't now on the whole. Edward Snowden actually did just get a whistleblower award in Germany from the Federation of German Scientists, which are a group, by the way, that opposed nuclear Germany in the late 50s. Kept it from going nuclear, essentially. They now give a whistleblower award starting in 1999. And I was the third, actually, to get that award. It's every 2 years. And I remember standing behind there's no comparable American award, by the way. I think there is a I just looked it up in Google. Whistleblower award in America. No.
There's one.
Oh, I mean, named whistleblower award. Yeah. There are some good awards. The Ridenour Award, named after a whistleblower, Rod Ridenour, who revealed My Lai, is not only a good, prestigious award, but has money going with it. It's very, very nice. But nothing actually called a whistleblower award. So I asked, it's also given by a group of lawyers and judges along with the scientists. So standing behind the stage, just before we went out for me to get this award, I asked the Chief Justice of their Supreme Court, Administrative Supreme Court. They have 2 Supreme Courts. Chief Justice of the Administrative Supreme Court in Germany. By the way, what's the German word for whistleblower? There were several other judges, so happens with about 4 of them. He said, and they all nodded, well, there is no German word for whistleblower. And That's why it's a whistleblower award. And so, it's the only word I could read in the speech journal. So I said, well, what's the closest corresponding word to whistleblower for that? Because I don't refer to it. Thought for a second, he said, parade. And they all know yes. Parade. I said, well, what does that mean? Traitor. So I said, well, what's the next best? What's the next best word? Isn't it? So he thought for a few seconds and he said, Petzer. And they all agreed to that. Tattletale. Which sounds kind of, like a euphemism because it is applied to kids who tell on their comrades for being naughty or doing that to the teacher or whatnot. Betraying their friend, betraying trust, etc., etc. And so that's where people learn, in school, at mother's knee, and so forth. And in later life, the other words that you'll see, I looked it up for Petzer: snitch, informer, rat, pigeon, and so forth. Anyway, having heard this Petzer and traitor, I said, well, it's like that in English too. This was in 2003, still. Now that has changed. I'm very glad to see, because there's now a lot of argument in the mainstream press, a lot of headlines. Edward Snowden or Manning, traitor or whistleblower. Well, as recently as 10 years ago, whistleblower meant traitor to most people. They were virtually synonymous. And in fact, people who really were whistleblowers, like Joe Wilson, who the husband of Valerie Plame, whose name was leaked as a CIA operative to punish him for his whistleblowing. He's a friend of mine, he's a very good guy, a former ambassador, and he refused to use the word, to allow the word whistleblower to be attached to him. He thought it was too pejorative. And that, I could understand that. A lot of people felt that way. Suddenly this year, people are saying, Snowden, traitor, no whistleblower. No, broke his law, broke the law, broke his word, did this and that, which of course I had done in their eyes. And in fact, the word hero is being used in connection with whistleblower and me more than I've ever seen it before, more than ever in the 40 years. And that is to use me as a foil against Snowden and Manning. Ellsberg, good. We all know he was good, even the hero. These guys, traitors. So that's not the way, of course, to encourage more whistleblowing, but the stakes are larger than